Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. In today's edition, we are going to shed light about the economic expectation in the African continent during the year 2021. But first, we'll start with this report where talks among Cairo, Khartoum, and Addis Ababa over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam resumed on Sunday. The latest discussions held by video conference in early November broke up without making headway. More in the following story by Sameh Al-Sharif.
Khartoum is to join a new round of talks with Cairo and Addis Ababa in a bid to resolve a long-running dispute over a huge Ethiopian dam on the Blue Nile. The three countries have held multiple rounds of talks since Ethiopia broke ground on the project in 2011, but they have so far failed to produce an agreement on the filling and operation of the vast reservoir behind the 145-meter tall dam. The last discussions held by video conference in early November broke up without making any headway. Late last month, Cairo called in Ethiopia's charge d'affaires. Sudan's state news agency SUNA said that officials from current African Union chair South Africa would be involved in the new round of talks. Citing an unnamed official, SUNA said Sudan would propose granting African Union experts a bigger role in the negotiations for a binding agreement on the dam's filling and operation. The European Union, among the observers of the Nile Dam talks, welcomed the upcoming talks in a statement, saying they offer an important opportunity for progress toward a deal. The EU also urged all the parties to show the political will to engage in this round of talks in a constructive and open-minded spirit. Cairo has expressed fears that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will severely reduce the Nile's flow, with devastating effects for the more than 97 million Egyptians dependent on it. The Blue Nile, which meets the White Nile in the Sudanese capital Khartoum, provides the great majority of the combined Nile's flow through northern Sudan and Egypt to the Mediterranean.
And moving on to the following report from the Ethiopian dam to Darfur, where the United Nations and the African Union ended a 13 years of mission to keep the peace in the vast Sudanese region of Darfur, even as recent violent clashes leave residents fearful of the renewed fighting there. More details with Sameh Al-Sharif.
Fighting erupted in Darfur in 2003. When ethnic minority rebels rose up against Khartoum, which responded by recruiting and arming notorious Arab-dominated militia known as the Janjaweed. According to the UN, a total of 300,000 people were killed and 2.5 million displaced. UNAMID's spokesman Ashraf Issa said the peacekeeping mission ended on Thursday, December 31 at midnight in Darfur. He said as of January 1, 2021, UNAMID's troops and police personnel will focus on providing security for the mission's drawdown activities, personnel, and assets. He said the phased withdrawal of the mission's approximately 8,000 armed and civilian personnel will be completed inside 6 months. The Sudanese government will take over responsibility for the protection of civilians in the area. Darfur's bitter conflict has largely subsided in recent years, and long-time autocrat Omar al-Bashir, wanted by the International Criminal Court for genocide and other alleged crimes in the western region, was deposed last year. Darfuris, mainly of whom remain in camps years after they fled their homes, have held protests in recent weeks against the mission's imminent departure. EU and political mission, the United Nations Integrated Transitional Assistance Mission in Sudan, UNITAMS, will be installed in Darfur after UNAMID's departure. It will be tasked with assisting Sudan's transition, peace building, and aid disbursement.
A car bomb targeting workers of a Turkish company killed 4 people, including 1 Turkish citizen, on Saturday in Somalia. The statement was made by Turkey's foreign ministry on Sunday. More in the following story.
4 people who were killed in a bomb attack in Somalia were a Turkish company staff working on the construction of a road between Mogadishu and Afgoye, northwest of the capital. Military operations spokesman for the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab said the group was behind the attack. The attack occurred outside the capital Mogadishu, according to residents in the area of the blast. Turkey has been a major source of aid to Somalia following a famine in 2011. Last January, Somalia's al-Shabaab insurgents took responsibility for a car bombing that wounded at least 15 people in Afgoye, with those injured comprising Turkish contractors as well as Somali nationals. A group of Turkish engineers was also among those hit in late December 2019 in a blast at a checkpoint in Mogadishu that killed at least 90 people. In recent years, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has become a close ally of the Somali government. Ankara has built schools, hospitals, and infrastructure and provided scholarships for Somalis to study in Turkey. In 2017, Turkey opened its biggest overseas military base in Mogadishu.
And to shed light about our expectations for the performance of the African economy in 2021, we are very much delighted to have with us over the phone Mr. Ahmed Khattab, our economic expert. Mr. Ahmed, good afternoon to you and Happy New Year.
Well, good afternoon to you and Happy New Year to you and to all of our audience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khattab. Mr. Khattab, of course, the year 2020 brought about major events and developments in Africa and the whole world. How do you expect the economy of Africa to develop during the year 2021? And of course, still the situation is overshadowed by the repercussions of COVID-19.
Yeah. First of all, let me send a great thank you message to our President Fattah al-Sisi, especially when he was chairman of African Union from 1 year. Our President Sisi do a wonderful achievement in the file of Africa, especially how to shadow the light to Africa country and the main country like Egypt, like Nigeria, like South Africa, like Libya, like Sudan. A lot of African country gain a lot of profitability related to economy because our President Sisi make a very high push to the African economy. Our Sisi, when he was a chairman of African Union, organizing a lot of mega forum and mega conference, especially in Sharm el-Sheikh, like Africa Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. All this conference aims to open the market to make export from Africa to the world. And I think the size of export of agriculture, especially agricultural products from Africa to the whole world, like Europe and like America and like China, also increased. And I think my expectation in 2021, the volume and the size of exports from Africa to all over the country will increase, especially in the case of COVID-19. Why? All mega countries like Germany, like London, like United States, like France, suffering a lot of losses from the COVID-19 because of the very bad and the very cold weather. Number of citizens suffer from COVID-19 increased day by day in Europe and in America and in Germany also. So all this country depend mainly in African countries, especially like Egypt. Why Egypt? Because Egypt has a stable market, and Egypt has have a surplus from the agricultural product and a lot of products, and we aim to make export. And if we make a forecast for last 6 months in 2020 in Egypt, size and the volume of export increased by more than 30%, especially in the field of agricultural products, because all the world needs vitamin C like orange and lemons, and all these products located in Egypt and located in African country. I think COVID-19 will not affect the size and the volume of trade between Africa and all over the world, but it also will encourage and will increase the size of export. I think also all African countries, especially growing countries like Nigeria and like Egypt, will take the advantage of COVID-19 and they make increase in the production value, and all this production will be exported to the Europe country and to the America and all countries suffering from COVID. So I think we are, as an African country, in a very stable position till today, and we control the, especially key country as Egypt. It will be the main gate for Africa. Why main gate of Africa? Because we have a new Suez corridor and a new Suez logistics area. We have infrastructure open to the Red Sea, and we have also a lot of ready infrastructure to make a connection between all African countries and they connect to other countries like Gulf country. So all this advantage to the African country and the city will lead to more profitability in the economic as a whole, and will increase the size and volume of export, especially in 2021.
Yes, that would bring me, Mr. Khattab, to ask about your expectation for the intra-African trade, how it would develop in 2021 from your point of view.
Yeah, inter-African trade will increase, and I think all the foreign ministers of Egypt and all African countries also sit together in a round table to discuss how we make a good connection between us, how to increase the volume and size of trade internally in Africa and externally to the world. I think also the president, like Abdel Sisi, the president of Egypt, working together with all presidents of the key country in Africa in order to focus on how to manage our resource and reach it into the final product and make export to the world as a final product. Especially in Egypt and all African countries have a good surplus in liquid gas and petroleum and some oil and some energy sector and the petrochemical sector, and all this mega sector connected directly to the world, and it will affect the volume of trade between African countries and all the world also. So all the president and leaders of African countries working together in order to increase the volume of trade internally and outside with over the world.
Yes. Mr. Khattab, what are the chances ahead if African countries could integrate their economies?
African country will integrate first in the field of agriculture, because we have a surplus in water, we have a surplus of land, we have a surplus of manpower sector. We will also connect it in the field of industry, of food industry, because we already have the raw material and the source. We
Yes.
will connect together in the field of gas and liquid gas because also we have a surplus and the gold. Gold is very important to Africa. We have a very high reserve of gold
Yes.
and a lot of also some different goods. We have a surplus in the field of petrochemical, in the field of steel, in the field of ceramics, for example. I think we have a very good achievement in this field, and we working together in this fight because we have a surplus in manpower, and
Yes.
all the African country as a growing country aims to reduce the percentage of unemployment in order to reach to less than 3% or 4% in the coming 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
All African countries have a ready infrastructure to increase the volume of trade internally, and
Yeah.
we connected to through a channel and a lot of agreement, international agreement, in order to connect with us some different other countries like Germany, like USA, like China, for example. And also, if you look to China, a lot of direct investment from China in the last 3 years located in Africa. Why Africa? Because Africa is a growing market, and it will be the high and most attractive market in the 40 coming years, because we have a surplus of raw material and very effective items like steel, like gas, liquid gas, like
Yes.
petroleum, like agriculture, like water. Water is very important also because all the agriculture depends mainly in water.
Yes.
Africa country as a growing country will be the leader of the trade in the coming 40 years, and all the world knows this message 100%, especially key countries like USA, like China, like Russia, like Japan also. A lot of investment in Japan in last 5 years in Africa.
Indeed. Sir, how has the coronavirus impacted the African economies?
African economy affected negatively some percentage by COVID-19. But if we compare the negative affection of COVID-19 to African country and make comparison with Europe country like France, like Italy, like USA as a key country, we are able to reduce the percentage of suffering from COVID-19, and
Yes.
also the atmosphere and the weather, good weather in Africa, leads Africa to overcome this
Yeah.
COVID-19 crisis in the coming 5 months, especially after Pfizer company producing the vaccine for Corona. I think Egypt is an ideal example
Yeah.
for covering the crisis of COVID-19 to Africa and to all growing countries and also to the world, because especially till today we
Yes.
are in a very good position. We have 3.5% as a growing rate, and this is excellent rate. A lot of mega countries growing rate by negative. So Egypt and Rwanda and Nigeria, South Africa is still key country in Africa. We are in a good position. We have a positive growing
Yes.
rate, and all International Monetary Fund, the bank sent this report, Fitch, Standard and Poor, all international agencies send a positive message about the key growing countries like Egypt and Nigeria and Rwanda and some other countries also.
Yeah.
And the report of export and the mutual trade internally and externally with the world is a positive related to African country as a growing country also. And this is a very good and positive indicator to encourage all the foreign investors to make a direct investment in the Egyptian economy as an African country and all key country located in Africa.
Yes.
I think this report from all over the world lead to more profitability to African country, more increase in the volume and size of export, more percentage of direct investment in the key country, especially like Egypt, like Nigeria, like South Africa.
Yes.
And this is a very good chance to create an open market and connect to all over the world, especially key market in China, key market in Japan, key market in USA, in Germany and
Yes.
France. And this till today, we are in a good position. And during the first quarter in 2021, I think this percentage will increase positively related to African countries.
Yes. Sir, how do you expect the migrant crisis to develop this year?
What crisis?
The migrant crisis, how do you expect it to develop this year?
Yeah, please, I think I need the question again.
How do you expect the migrant crisis to develop this year?
Yeah, I think it will be in a very good position during the 2021, especially in the second and third quarter of 2021. Why? Because after the second quarter of this 2021, the vaccine will be distributed to all over the world, and the crisis of COVID-19 negative attitude will decrease month by month. Especially 1st of May and June, the weather will be very hot in Africa, and hot weather it is not a suitable atmosphere to COVID-19 to be distributed in a very high rate. And during the second, the third and fourth quarter of 2021, I think all over the world will cover all COVID-19 crisis and start operation, but by new technology and new techniques. And I think the world communication today mainly depends on online work, mainly depends on connection from home. And I think also we as a citizen attitude will be changed to work between in the same company or the same firm, but with the social distance.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Ahmed Khattab, our economic expert, thank you very much for your precious input. And that, our dear viewers, would bring us to the end of this edition of Africa Today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.